Yeah, the female loneliness epidemic is weird because it almost isn't even real. Like, it doesn't really exist. There are just too many average women that have deluded themselves into believing that they're above average, and now they're all dating the same men. Like, it's not even real.
When it comes to modern dating, girls love to tell you that you need a great profile, solid openers, and plan an amazing first date. But in reality, the guys they actually swipe on and sleep with do not give a fuck.
Trying to start a conversation. Hey cutie, how's your weekend? Shit in my mouth.
Why is bro pulling up from half court with 10 minutes left on the clock?
So this guy says to me, oh, well, I showed your Instagram to my roommate, and he said, oh, she's pretty, but she looks chubby in her photos.
I'm not gonna lie, I know that seems kind of cruel, but at least he's actually telling her what she needs to work on. Like, I knew this guy when I was in college, and he was surrounded by female friends because he was always being put in the friend zone. The type of guy that would always hear, I want to date a guy just like you, but it's never him. He would ask his female friends, like, what does he have to do to get a girl? He just wants to be in a relationship. And they would always tell him, just be nice. And I was like, bro, when he was talking to me about it, I was like, bro, you cannot listen to that stuff, bro. You have to lose 50 pounds at least right now. Like, that's necessary for you to get a girl right now. Lose 50 pounds. And, of course, it seems kind of cruel, but he lost the weight, and then getting female attention wasn't a problem for him. His problem was that he was asking his female friends for dating advice. It wasn't going to work out.
On a date. On an actual date.
He told the
most
truth.
Unhinged things men have said to me while we were dating. One, yeah, there's a girl in my bed, but I left her to have breakfast with you.
Well, right here, they just don't like what they're hearing. At least the guy's being upfront. If you don't want to be a woman that's dating a man that's dating multiple women, just don't date that guy. Go to the next guy.
I just had the worst first date of my life. Date invited myself along with 2 other women so that he could speed up the process of finding his perfect 3-way.
So Liam messaged saying, and the award for the biggest forehead goes to.
His opening message to me, I eat ass.
Do you like to be punished?
So I was talking to this guy and he was literally ticking every single box.
This was a really hot guy that I matched with on Hinge.
He was good looking.
He has a driver, and it was a really nice car.
Too good to be true, right? He rang me up and he was like, I've just noticed your profile picture, and I can see on your profile picture that you've got a child. Why would I want to speak to anyone who had little cock blockers?
No, that's crazy. That's crazy. Calling somebody kids are that's crazy.
That's right. Hot guys do not give a but ironically,
Why
it
would
is
they?
women who let them get away with it over and over again.
And I make my cute little profile like, oh, hi, I'm Morgan. Tee. And he's like one of the first ones that pops up. And he's gorgeous. Oh my God.
See, she picked the hot dude just for being hot, not because of some great bio and not because he planned a great first date.
Yeah.
So we pull up to this bar, and this thing is like a hole, like a rat hole.
No personality.
When he's talking, all I
Doesn't
hear is
need
like,
one.
oh, football, frats, b****s and skanks.
And being rude as
Got his hand on my leg, and I'm telling the story. He cuts me off in the middle of me telling my story, and he goes, I just want you to know you're not my person. And so I was like, in my head, I'm sitting like, why would he just cut me the off to say that?
Yep. This is what happens when women complain about men being trash.
Yeah.
By the way, spoiler alert, he still the shit out of her later that night.
See, and that's the biggest problem, right? Like, there are women that'll try to appeal to other men and be like, why are men behaving so poorly? And it's because they want men to police the behavior of other men. But the issue is, if women are rewarding these men and they're using their body autonomy to choose to sleep with these men, then the women are the ones that are putting these types of guys on a pedestal. Men have to become whatever women want us to become in order to sleep with them. So if women wanted guys to be nice guys, then they should reward guys that are nice guys. But because women reward men that are assholes, more men decide to go that route. I think it's super similar to like how men reward women who aren't modest with attention, and then women feel like they have to take off more clothes in order to compete with those types of women for attention. If women reward these types of men with sex, then more men are going to behave this way because they want it.
I'm not going to tell you all the rest because, like, I will be banned, but my God, what a night.
And so you see, the dating market is absolutely But the reality is, it's women who are rewarding this type of bad behavior.
Exactly.
And all I can think is, you
catfished me and now you drop this bombshell and you still expect me to date you? Are you insane? But I kept dating him.
Of course. There it is.
So why the hell
See?
would any of these guys ever change?
Right.
Since if you have access to a buffet of pussy while being an asshole,
a Hinge notification pops up on his phone, like for everyone to see. It was like clearly out there. We both literally looked at it and then looked at each other, and then he carried on talking to me as if nothing had happened.
Yeah, because he's dating multiple people, and whatever you decide to do with that information is up to you. And that's part of the reason why I think the dating apps are so bad, because there's just this paradox of choice where you have so many options between the two people, mostly on the female side, but when it comes to the guys they tend to date, also on the male side. And then when these two people are together, and even if you find somebody that you genuinely like and you start to build a connection with this person, because you always have this option to get these notifications from these apps, and they want you to stay on the apps for as long as possible, so they're going to send you notifications no matter what. There's always this thing where you're looking for the next best thing. So anytime you have any type of conflict with that person, people just go right back to the app, and they never even delete the app in the first place. So people are really just using each other as placeholders until the next ding happens on the app that gives them the dopamine boost to feel like the next best thing is just one swipe away.
then what's the incentive to treat any of these women with some basic level of respect? I mean, you can just tell them to their face to submit and obey.
To submit and obey to me.
Damn.
That is a direct quote.
And he's like, you know, you just need to be quiet and let me take the lead.
Yeah.
You don't have to pretend to be someone you're not.
Yeah, if you want a man that's a leader, you have to be willing to be led. Yeah, that's base. Like there are a lot of ladies that'll say they want these guys that are in these leadership positions, but they don't expect the man to lead the relationship or lead his family. Like, that makes sense though. The first guy obviously worded it kind of crazy, submit and obey, but the second guy, that's actually pretty reasonable.
Then he was like, also you should know that anal is amazing when MDMA. And I was just like,
Oh my god. Please drop a like if you think that these guys absolutely do not care anymore, and comment down below what you think. Now you just know that these women are gonna say that all men are trash, and that is why dating sucks right now. But we all know that the majority of men would never talk to a woman like that. But women are not dating the majority of men.
No.
They are only dating a small subsection.
So he picks me up, he's not bad looking, he has a nice car, he's pretty tall.
None of those things were personality, and this is why it's tough for men when they ask women about dating, because the women are going to tell you what they want, not what they like. So they're going to tell you things like just be a nice guy, plan a nice date, but they're not going to tell you the things that they actually like. And right now she's describing the things that she actually likes. He's tall, he's jacked, he looks okay, he has a nice car. Women are hardly ever honest about the things that they like, and when they give dating advice to men, they always tell them the things that they want. And generally speaking, they only even want those things from the guys that they already like. But they don't tell you that part.
And so clearly, if you are an average guy, you need to get off the dating apps ASAP, because they are a waste of time, waste of money.
I did pay, unfortunately, for Bumble Premium.
No.
It was hard. So I did 1 week, which I think was $29.99.
And they're
$30 for 1 week, brother. That is a humiliation ritual. That's $120 a month. That guy needs to use that $30 for a gym membership, pound some creatine and pre-workout, and put on 15 pounds of muscle right now. And this is not a recommendation or a suggestion. This is a prescription, because if you do not do this, your quality of life is going to be significantly lower. He has to put on muscle right now.
so many better options to get dates as an average looking dude. And I might make a separate video breaking all of this down. But in this video, it's all about hot guys up the dating market and the women who let them. So instead, I'll throw in some fuckboy tips at the end, just for funsies if you want to try it for yourself.
Well, that's a good shift of blame, but really it is the women's fault. Like if there was a guy that was like 300 pounds overweight and he said, why am I not attracting these types of women that I want to date, and I refuse to settle for another woman that's also 300 pounds overweight, I would tell him that he's delusional also, and the reason why he's failing in dating is because of his delusion. And the reason why the dating market is skewed is because a lot of these types of women will go and date guys that are out of their league that don't actually like them, and when these guys sleep with them, they get damaged.
Plan to go on a date, like when you want to come down, and he was like, oh,
is it okay if I stay over? And I was like, we all know what we're here for. Yes, you can stay over.
Anyways, before we get into all of
he
that,
had his
let's
way.
get back to the brutal reality of hot guys rampaging through the dating market, leaving a trail of emotional damage.
Yep.
And I don't know, I just feel like in this day and age, in this generation, with the apps and blah, 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 all that kind of stuff, I just feel like it's hard. It's hard to, I think it's hard.
Doesn't have to be.
Dating now is very hard.
If one more person says to me, don't worry, it'll happen when you least expect it, I have no expectations anymore. None. All I expect is trauma and lesson.
Yeah, never take that type of advice from your female friends if you're like one of the 3 women that stuck it through to get to this point in the video. Doing nothing is not good advice. When I'm talking about buddies about what they should be doing in order to attract the type of woman that they want, or when we're all having these conversations, which rarely happens because guys kind of already know what we have to do. But when you listen to like female advice, when it comes to dating, they're oftentimes basically saying, just do nothing and wait for the opportunity to come to you. And it's like, that's not how any opportunity wants. Usually you have to go out and try to do something for the thing that you actually want. That's how it works with school. That's how it works with jobs. That's how it works with life, to be honest.
Now, the guys that are causing all of this mess are drowning in pussy so much to the point that they don't even care about showing up for the date. And these girls just keep waiting there until they feel so embarrassed that they just want to cry.
You don't leave someone sitting alone waiting for you for 40 minutes. Like, I almost cried because I felt so
That is messed up.
Yeah, that's not great.
It's messed
but
up.
Sadly, it can always get much, much worse because this girl took 2 days off of work, traveled all the way from Queensland to Melbourne on a 2-hour flight to spend the weekend with some dude she was talking to for the past weeks, only for him to ghost her the minute she landed.
If she wanted to, she would.
He kept saying we need to catch up, and I was like, well, do you want me to come down Easter weekend? He said absolutely. I landed this morning. We've been talking all day. I was meant to meet him this evening. I got all dressed up and ready to go. That was it. That was the last I've heard. Just vanished, poof, into thin air.
Ouch, that's gotta sting. But yeah guys, that's the reality. These are the type of men these women are swiping on and hooking up with, since no one actually gives a f about your personality or charm when they are swiping on these dating apps.
Of course.
Gilmore Girls? Oh, he got a Ferrari, Jenna.
Should I super like him?
Yeah.
We've matched a few times in the past. He's stunning.
My first impressions was, my lord, you are tall.
Who is Jack?
Oh! Oh! Super like.
They all say they do, but in reality, they are all lying. Because when it gets time to actually swipe, respond to a message, and show up to a date, they all go for the hot guy. Remember the my mouth girl?
Shit in my mouth.
Yep, that one. Now, she did not instantly unmatch and block the dude. She actually responded,
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Oh, man.
So I just asked what drugs he was on tonight, and he didn't answer.
So he said something absolutely crazy.
So he shot from half court with 10 minutes left on the clock, but at least he didn't airball. He bricked it, but he didn't airball.
And he still got a response.
Right.
While most men will never even get a response to a friendly, hey, how's your day?
In any case, I would only get like 1 to 2 matches per month. And the problem is a lot of those didn't even transpire in the dates anyway.
Yeah, a lot of them just turn into OnlyFans links. Like, it's just girls that'll just send you the OnlyFans link. I hear that's a huge issue on the dating apps nowadays. And the issue is, like, a lot of these women in this video would qualify for this guy. But they don't want to date this guy. They want to date the other guys. That's the big issue. This is the guy that most of the women in the video qualify for. But they think that they're better than this guy.
Because sometimes I would send a message to them and I would never get a message back. And it would just kind of fizzle out from there.
And here's another one.
He said, LOL, I meant more the spoony, but sure, we can do a date. And I said, oh, you're just looking for someone to spoon. He said, that's exactly it. I said,
like, this woman qualifies for the last guy. This woman qualifies for the last guy. I'm going to go back a little bit so I can hear exactly what she's saying.
Fizzle out from there.
And here's another one.
He said, LOL, I meant more the spoony, but sure, we can do a date. And I said, oh, you're just looking for someone to spoon. He said, that's exactly it. I said, oh, I'm looking for more out of this app. This guy's response.
Penetration, classic. So clearly, dating apps are and if you can't beat them, join them and start fuckboying.
So if we look at our matches, we got 64 matches within 48
bro's
hours.
killing it.
In any case, I would only get like 1 to 2 matches per month.
Because if you want to pump and dump like a hot dude and you don't have the looks, it is still possible, but you're gonna have to use some highly unethical methods.
Well, it's still possible, but because attraction is relative, and one thing you'll realize as you get older as a man is if you can manage, I know it's hard to do. It's simple, but sometimes simple things are hard. I understand that it's hard to do. It's not easy. But if you can maintain a good physique until the age of 30 and beyond, like after the age of 30, a good physique just is a multiplier. A guy who's like a 5 throughout all of his 20s, if he maintains a good physique, as soon as you hit the age of 30, I don't know what it is about that. As soon as you hit the age of 30, you go from like a 5 to a 6.5 to a 7. There are just so few dudes that are above the age of 30 that are in shape that, like, you know, being attractive is still relative. And as you get older, because women tend to date guys that are just a little bit older than them or around their age, it scales up.
But very effective.
And I actually did have a decent amount of success, but for one reason only. I was forced to be someone that I wasn't.
Now, use them at your own risk, because I will not be responsible for any of the consequences resulting from applying these, okay? Since I once had a dude who got his car totaled after I taught him how to bang a tall hottie, since it turns out she actually had a boyfriend. So yeah, any problems you get into, that's on you. Now again, I do not recommend doing any of this, and I think that if you want to date, you should try to meet a wholesome person off the apps, since that will lead to more fulfillment in life. However, if you want a glimpse into the life of a boy and are only interested in pumping and dumping, then listen up.
All right, let's hear it.
First of all, nobody cares about your personality on these apps. Since you're not swiping on personality, you're swiping on looks.
Yeah.
Ooh, 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 ooh. Aww. I would heart it for the dog. Do it.
And second, which is the most important quality of being a successful boy, and that is to lie. Lie like your life depends on it.
Yep, women fall in love with what they hear and men fall in love with what they see. That's why men lie, and that's why women wear makeup.
Because the true art of being an excellent boy is giving a girl exactly what she wants, even though you absolutely do not have it.
But he said, I love you, so it felt exclusive to me. Stupid.
You see, boys are working with an amazing body and a great face, and still they lie, which means that you have to lie even better and harder than a true boy. Because you're basically marketing a shittier product, and that is all this comes down to, basic marketing. Which brings us to your dating profile. First up, lose the fat.
This is probably gonna be my number one advice of all night. You need better photos.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's just no way around this. Since if you want to pump and dump like a true boy, you're gonna have to be lean.
Yeah, it's much easier to take more aesthetic pictures when your body is aesthetic. It's easier to wear a nice outfit when you are fit. That's just the nature of the beast. 14 to 15% body fat is the way to go.
Is tall and skinny.
Now you don't have to be bulky and you don't need a lot of mass, but you do have to be lean. So stop eating garbage, do push-ups and jump rope daily, and in 3 weeks you can easily lose a ton of fat.
13,000 steps a day.
And look a whole lot better than you do right now. If you can't do that for just 3 weeks, you can be a boy. Okay, it's that simple. So now that you're nice and lean, edit the fuck out of your photos. Go outside and take a bunch of photos in different locations around the city. These don't have to be special, just have a coffee, sit somewhere, stare at a thing, point at a thing, do a thing. It really doesn't matter because we'll fix everything in post. Now, there's a ton of tutorials and apps out there on how to edit your photos. Don't just stop at fixing your face. Fix the background, fix the shirt, fix the sky, fix whatever you need to fix to make sure that this picture looks sexy as fuck, okay? Now the goal is to look effortlessly sexy and affluent, not rich, just very comfortable with your money.
Bro, when guys have to resort to catfishing to get a date, it's getting crazy out here.
Trust me, subtle signs of affluence
the guys are
10 times
catfishing now.
better than ostentatious signs. Because now you don't just look good, but your lifestyle also looks good. And you can easily bump yourself from a 6 to a 7 by losing weight and editing your photos.
Definitely.
And you can bump yourself from a 7 to an 8 by editing your lifestyle. Perfect. Now we actually have something to work with. And now we start swiping like a maniac. Don't worry about what the girl looks like, since you're still a baby at this and you need to get some flight hours in. It's a lot easier to talk a 5 or a 6 into giving you her number and set up a date than it is with the 8s and 9s.
And that's why I think some of that dating app data is a little bit skewed. Like, I do believe the fact that most women are trying to go for the top 20% of men or the top 15% of men. That's obviously replicated in the data that the dating apps have already given out. But the swipe ratio on the male side comes from guys doing exactly this. Just swipe, 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 swipe. So, yeah, I bet you if guys actually took time to look at the pictures and consider the person, the ratios would be a lot lower.
So you want to start practicing your conversation skills with everyone and level those up massively. Now, like I said, it's a lot easier if you actually travel a lot and live an interesting lifestyle, gaining a lot of general knowledge and interest. But if you don't, you just do what boys do and lie your ass off.
But he said, I love you. So it felt exclusive to me. Stupid.
Yeah.
Whatever she said.
Yeah, the word love almost means nothing anymore. People say I love anything.
As you connect with it and you add something awesome. So for instance, she's just back from visiting her grandma in Canada. Great, I love traveling, I'm going to Paris next week. You can teach me some French, let's meet up for drinks. Oh, you love cats? Here's my cat, Mr. Snuggles. Oh, you mean dogs? Sure, me too, here's Speedy.
AI
Doesn't
dog
matter.
is crazy.
If she's super into eating organic and healthy foods, great. I just started making my own sourdough last week. Let's meet up for drinks and exchange recipes.
This is pretty much every male feminist. That's pretty much what it is. So if you just become like 14% body fat and lie about your political opinions, yeah, that actually gets you a long way.
It doesn't matter what she says, just make shit up and add to it. Now remember, nothing sexual.
That anal is amazing on MDMA.
You're not that hot, okay? Leave that to the pros. But do step on the gas. We're not looking for a pen pal situation here. Just get her number, get off the app, and set up a date.
I have like a 1 week rule. Like, I'll talk to somebody for 1 week, and if they haven't asked me out like on a date, I'm just like...
Plus, you're not gonna meet her in the daylight. No coffee dates, no lunch dates or walks in the park. No, just drink dates at night only and always at the best bars in town. Which is obviously a lie. It's going to be a cheap, low-light bar.
And this thing is like a hole.
Which hides your looks and protects your bank account because you're just looking to pump and dump. When you get to the final stage and Ruth sent you a message and you walk in that door of that cheap bar wearing your Timbos, yep, I'm 6'2" and I still wear Timberlands all the time since you can never be too tall as a guy.
Yeah, I seen some dude, I think it was the clavicular dude, he said that putting socks in the heel of your shoe can give you a boost of like 2 inches. It's crazy though when you take them shoes off, but as long as it's dark enough, I guess you're good. I wouldn't go that far. I'm only 5'7". I don't give a shit that much. That's how you know dating isn't even really for any longevity anymore, when it gets to the point where guys are like putting socks in the bottom of their heels in order to look taller. Because if you were dating anybody for longevity, that's just not something you do because it's unsustainable.
So once she sees you, all she's gonna think is, he doesn't look quite as hot as I thought, but he's kinda cute, he's got a bit of money, and he seems very interesting. So let's just see where this goes. That is where you let your charm and personality reel her in so you can blow her back out. This was Hot Guys Are Brutal on Dating Apps. Please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more videos.
Yeah, I think that as dating becomes more short term, unfortunately, it incentivizes more people to lie about their circumstances. Also, guys, if you like these types of reaction videos and you feel like you got what it takes, I'm going to be putting out a course on Friday, and it's not going to be just about titles and thumbnails. I'm actually going into the psychology of what makes a good reaction channel. And I don't think that this information is found anywhere else, but if that's something that you're interested in, be on the lookout for Friday. Let me know in the comments below if this video is a W or L, and give me the HBO special. That's how brother out special. Hit the like and the subscribe button for more content. Till next time.